A fatal shooting on the Gold Coast this week has opened up more debate about a frightening escalation in violent crime on the tourist strip. The Queensland Police Union has called for backup, wanting more police and resources on the coast, but criminologist Professor Paul Wilson says that won't be enough to tackle the spiralling crime. Kathy McLeish spoke to him on the coast.
Paul Wilson, welcome to 7:30 Queensland.
Thank you.
Between 60 and 90 armed robberies this year, depending on how you read the crime statistics. 5 shootings on the Gold Coast in the last 3 months. Are we seeing a crime wave there or a statistical spike?
I don't think it's a spike. I think when you've got 5 shootings in 3 months and somewhere between 60 and 90 armed robberies, you've got to be concerned about an increase in crime. And I have no doubt that that's what's happening.
What's caused it? Why is it happening here?
Well, it's a lot of complex reasons. I think drugs are here in a big way, always have been, but I think they're circulating pretty widely at the moment. I think that's the first reason. I think the police themselves will say that illegal weapons are around on the coast and appear to be used more, perhaps. A third reason might be that since the global economic crisis, tourism and also property has slumped pretty badly on the Gold Coast, and desperate people often do desperate things. So you've got a whole lot of social and demographic and actual crime factors like drugs happening here.
There have been 2 cases like this of increased gun crime in Sydney in the last 18 months or so, but they were put down to organised crime groups or family groups in a specific area. Are we looking at something like that on the Gold Coast?
I don't think so. I think a lot of the armed robberies are done by amateurs, not professionals, people who want money for drugs. There's no evidence here of highly organised drug cartels or groups like there are in Melbourne or Sydney, for example. There may be 2 or 3 individuals peddling drugs, but not the sort of long-standing mafia-type gangs that we've seen in Melbourne.
So what we're seeing basically on the Gold Coast is a drug problem.
Well, it's a tourist town, and tourist towns always have very high crime rates, whether it's here or in North America, for example. We've got a sort of a Wild West attitude here, always had that. People come up here for holidays, and some of them want to commit criminal acts. I think the other reason is that in party towns, tourist towns, you do have a lot of drugs circulating, and that causes trouble.
This is a high level of gun crime. Does it indicate a problem in Queensland with illicit firearms?
I don't think there's any evidence that there are more illegal guns in Queensland. What there may be evidence of, and I say maybe because we're not quite sure, is that more people are willing to use illegal weapons than perhaps they did in the past. And if that is the case, then we really have to be concerned.
Comparing what's happening here to other cities who've had similar problems, what can the police do to tackle this issue?
The police do have an argument for more police and more technology to back them up, GP systems and cars and so on. So I think that's one approach. The second approach is having real crime prevention schemes. What we use here to deal with crime are CCTV, of which we've got an extensive network, and police. But we've got to have more than that. We've got to have crime prevention programs which help to deal with all those kids out at the hinterland who've got no jobs to go to and nothing to do.
One of the things that's happened here is the difficulty in quantifying just how much crime has actually gone on at the Gold Coast, and that's something you've been wanting addressed as well, isn't it?
I think it's appalling in Queensland generally that we don't have an independent Bureau of Crime Research and Statistics. New South Wales do, so that we get objective, non-partisan figures about what is actually happening with the crime rate. It's a very complicated issue, crime figures. We need this so that we know actually what's happening. If you actually look at the annual police report, what is clear is that 10 years ago we had more crime, but they had more crime right across Australia. Crime rates have gone down. At this point of time, though, in 2010, 2011, there's no doubt that the Gold Coast has one of the highest rates of crime in Queensland. No doubt about that whatsoever. It's got high rates of property offences, of serious assault, of the use of weapons, of home invasions. So, yeah, there is a crime problem at this point of time now.
So it requires a serious focus.
Yeah, I think it does need a serious focus, and it's got to go beyond, I think, more policing, which we need, and more CCTV cameras, which are very good maybe at stopping alcohol and public order crimes, but not very good at preventing crime.
Paul Wilson, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.